Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today, we are going to dive deep into the world of digital forensics using one of the most powerful and accessible tools available on Kali Linux. We are talking about Autopsy. Now, before we jump into the terminal and start clicking buttons, it is absolutely vital that we set the stage regarding the ethical use of this software. Autopsy is a digital forensics platform. It is used by law enforcement, military, and corporate investigators to analyze hard drives and smartphones to recover evidence. When you are learning this skill, you must strictly adhere to legal and ethical boundaries. You should never use forensic tools on a computer, a network, or a storage device that you do not own, or for which you do not have explicit, written permission to analyze. The power to recover deleted files and view system artifacts comes with the responsibility to respect privacy and the law. Today, we are conducting a controlled test on our own equipment to understand how this process works. So, what exactly is Autopsy? It is actually a graphical interface for the Sleuth Kit, which is a collection of command line tools that allow you to analyze disk images and recover files from them. The Sleuth Kit is the engine, and Autopsy is the dashboard that makes it user-friendly. It allows you to visualize data, search for keywords across an entire drive, and generate timelines of user activity. Let's get started with the setup. On Kali Linux, Autopsy is unique because the classic version typically runs as a local web server. This means you don't open a standard application window immediately. Instead, you open your terminal and run the command sudo autopsy. You need sudo privileges because forensic tools require direct access to hardware devices and file systems that a standard user cannot touch. Once you run that command, the terminal will spin up a server and give you a link, which is usually localhost, on port 9999. You just copy that link and paste it into your Firefox browser, and that is where our interface lives. Now that we have the interface open, we are greeted with the Case Manager. In the world of forensics, organization is everything. You cannot just open a file. You have to establish a chain of custody and a workspace. So the first thing we are going to do is create a new case. For this demonstration, I am going to click on New Case. It asks for a case name. We're going to call this simply Test. This name is important because Autopsy creates a directory with this name where it will store all the reports, extracted files, and logs. It keeps your investigation clean. Below that, you can add a description, but we'll skip that for now. It also asks for an investigator name. In a real scenario, you would put your full name here so that any report generated is signed by you. We will then hit the New Case button to lock that in. Once the case is created, we move to the next hierarchy, which is the host. A single case might involve a laptop, a desktop, and a USB drive. Each of these is a host. Autopsy needs to know which device the evidence belongs to. We are prompted to add a host. For the host name, we are going to type in computer name. There is a very important setting here called time zone. When you are analyzing a system, the timestamps on files are critical. If the computer you are analyzing was used in New York, but you are analyzing it in London and you don't adjust the time zone, your timeline of events will be off by several hours. In a criminal investigation, being off by 5 minutes can ruin a case. For this test, we will leave it as the default, but always keep that in mind. We click Add Host to proceed. Now we arrive at the most critical step, which is adding the evidence. This is where we tell Autopsy what we want to analyze. Usually, in a professional environment, you would never analyze the physical drive directly. You would create a bit-by-bit copy, known as a disk image, often in a raw DD format or an E01 format, and you would analyze that file to prevent accidental modification of the original evidence. However, for the purpose of this educational tutorial, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to point Autopsy directly at a hardware device. We have a drive connected to our machine. We are not using a file path like home/user/image.dd. Instead, we're pointing it to the device file in the deb device directory. We're going to select Add Image File. In the location box, we're going to type /dev/SDB. That's DEV/SDB. This tells Linux that we want to look at the second storage drive attached to the system. Since we're doing this live, we have to be very careful. In real investigation, you would use a hardware write blocker to ensure that Autopsy does not accidentally write a single bit of data to that drive, which would contaminate the evidence. Since this is a test case name test using host name computer name, we proceed with the understanding that we are reading the live device. We select the type as partition or disk. For the import method, usually you have the option to symlink or copy. Symlink is faster because it just points to the data. Copy creates a duplicate. Since we are pointing to dev SDB, we're just telling Autopsy to look right there. We click Next. Autopsy will now try to determine the file system. Is it NTFS? Is it FAT32? Is it ext4? We generally leave this on auto detect. It will also calculate the MT5 hash of the image. This is a mathematical fingerprint. It ensures that the data we are looking at now is exactly the same as the data we look at 10 years from now in court. If a single bit changes, that hash changes. We add the image and Autopsy begins its analysis. Now, let's look at what we can actually do. The analysis window offers several modes. The first one everyone goes to is the file analysis mode. This looks like a standard file explorer, but it is much more powerful. You'll see directories and files, but you'll also see files written in red text. These are deleted files. When you delete a file on a computer, it doesn't actually disappear. The operating system just marks that space as available for new data. Until new data overwrites it, the old data is still there, and Autopsy can read it. You can browse through these red files, right-click them, and export them to see what was supposedly removed. Next, let's talk about the keyword search. This is incredibly powerful. Let's say you are looking for a specific credit card number, a specific name, or a specific email address. You can type that string into the search bar, and Autopsy will scour the entire dev SDB drive. It doesn't just look at file names, it looks inside documents, inside emails, and even inside the unallocated space where deleted files live. It searches the raw hexadecimal data. If that text exists anywhere on the physical surface of that disk, Autopsy will likely find it and tell you exactly which sector it's located in. Another feature we must discuss is the timeline analysis. This is one of the best ways to visualize what happened on a computer. Instead of looking at a list of files, the timeline generates a graphical bar chart showing computer activity over time. You might see a massive spike in activity at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. You can zoom in on that spike, and Autopsy will tell you that a USB drive was inserted, a file was copied, the registry was modified, and then the web browser history was cleared. It paints a picture of user behavior that you simply cannot get by just looking at a list of files. There's also the image details section. This gives you the technical breakdown of the drive we added, the dev SDB device. It shows the start and end sectors of the partitions and the file system type. This is technical, but for a forensic analyst, it verifies that the tool is reading the geometry of the drive correctly. As we wrap up this overview, I want to circle back to the setup we used today. We created a case called test and a host called computer name, and we analyzed dev SDB. If you were doing this for a capture the flag competition or a cybersecurity certification exam, this is exactly the workflow you would use to find the hidden flag. You would search through the file analysis for hidden directories or use keyword search to find the flag string. However, if you're just curious about your own data, this is a great way to audit your own security. Run Autopsy on your own USB drive. See what files you thought you deleted are actually still there. It's a sobering reminder that digital data is very persistent. Just because you hit empty trash doesn't mean the information is gone. To conclude, Autopsy is a gateway into the back end of how our computers store data. It demystifies the file system. It shows us that a computer is really just a massive collection of sectors and clusters, and with the right tools, we can read the story those sectors tell. Whether you're an aspiring ethical hacker, a future forensic investigator, or just a tech enthusiast, learning to navigate this interface is a fundamental skill. Remember, the difference between a cybercriminal and a cybersecurity professional is ethics and permission. Always ensure you have the right to analyze the data you are looking at. That's going to be it for this video. I hope this walkthrough of setting up your first case and understanding the interface was helpful. If you found value in this, make sure to check out the other Linux tutorials on the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.